Howdy ho, good neighbors, what's going on? It's Phil Russert of Philbo Publishing, and we are going to launch Tragedy 6 live in a few minutes tonight, and we have two cool guests. Excited. This is, I think, my 14th or 15th or maybe 16th campaign. So very excited. Tragedy, if you haven't been following, you should check it out. It's worth it. We'll talk about it more. We have two guests. We're also going to talk tonight about some of the most iconic female heroes and villains in all of pop culture, whether it's movies or comic books or novels or whatever. Just to kind of, have a little fun, not just mull over my campaign. Being that Tragedy, in my mind, is among that list. But, I'm biased. Anyway, I'm going to pull on our guests. First, we have a cover artist for Tragedy. He's done many covers, and he's on this newest campaign as well. It is the studio cover. He's one of the most amazing people I've ever met. No, I'm just kidding. He's actually a bum. But anyway, my friend and artist, the art of Kevin Steward. What's going on?
I mean, with an intro like that, how can I top that? I mean, that's just
I'm telling you.
Thanks, Phil.
Well, I'm from old school. You bust the chops to the people you like. The people you don't like, you don't talk to. You don't say shit to.
That's a good point. That's true.
And my next guest is, in my opinion, a very underrated indie comic writer and creator. He's also an awesome indie film director, producer, creator, etc., special effects, you name it. He's a really talented dude. And a really good guy. He's one of the good ones in the industry. Not like this slob over here. Just seeing if you're still awake, paying attention. Anyway, without further ado, Christopher Elston.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on?
Not much. Don't mind the background. I had a hurricane named Bowie come run through here. So, Plus, I was in the middle. I was trying to finish a new doll up, so that's why it took me a little long to get on air. So,
yeah, for those of you who don't know, Christopher did a great indie book, Rabbit's Badass Song, the first 3 issues, which we hope to see more of in the future. But he's also an indie film creator. But he does a lot of props, and he does the stop motion. Do a lot of really cool stuff, and I'm really excited to see what's coming from you, and I know you've been working hard at things, and I don't understand. There's some hard lined in, and it does this shit. I don't know why, but anyway, I was just saying I'm not gonna. I just don't get it. But anyway, you're a really talented dude. I can't wait to see the things that you're going to be coming out with soon and coming up with. And everybody should follow his page, especially see some really cool stop motion shorts. Follow Kevin's page if you want to see some awesome art, because Kevin is an awesome artist. Not to mention, we're going to talk about Apollo a little bit later, which Kevin is going to publish through Philbo, and I really like the story.
I like his posters. I like your posters in the background.
Those are all original.
Nice. You got my favorite Jason movie. That's probably like 3. That one and 6 are my favorites. So
yes, yeah. Those are some of my favorites as well. Yeah, you got good taste, sir. Yeah. Good taste.
Oh, thank you.
Is 6 the 6 is the one where she has telekinetic ability, right?
No, that's 7. 6 is the one with Tommy Jarvis resurrect.
Oh, that's right.
That's the whole. Yeah, that's the whole cycle where it brings it back.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
I like Kane Hodder, but my man who played Jason 6, I think he was the best Jason, in my opinion.
I thought that was Kane Hodder. It wasn't Kane. No, you're right, because he was 7. He came in at 7.
Because he came in because of Jarl Beekler. Who, it's funny because it's a long story, but Full Moon, Ghoulies and stuff. There are reasons Jason 7 got made. Like a lot of the guys who worked on 7.
I remember liking 7. It was pretty cool. It was different. The sleeping bag kill was the best.
Oh yeah. They cut it. They cut it. That film has about 5 extended scenes they cut. They're super gory. But
oh really?
Yeah, we'll never see it.
They shortened the sleeping bag down because the original was like
3
so long. Him just he slammed him one too many times for the
right.
board.
And even like
that
when he
was
crushed the
hilarious.
guy's head, like that was a more elaborate scene. But they don't have the negatives of it anymore. Like it got destroyed, so we'll never see it. It sucks.
Oh, that's too
It's
bad.
a shame.
Yeah.
There's so many
Charles
good movies
W.
like that.
Oh yeah.
Charles W. Morgan said hello to all of us. Charles, is your campaign still going on right now, buddy? On the other platform, please drop your link. Let everybody know. Thanks for coming out. Charles is a big supporter and a friend, and I appreciate him. So we're gonna launch Tragedy. We're gonna talk about some of the most iconic female protagonists and even antagonists in pop culture. Movies, TV. Comic books, novels, anime, whatever you want. So I hope you guys logged in a few good ones. And iconic can be anything from just being well known to just being really good, really cool characters. Because, in my opinion, there are some characters that are awesome that maybe aren't well known. Tragedy, and so or Snow Bunny. So
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to pop up the campaign, and we are going to just trying to wait for some more people to come in. Usually 10 minutes or 15 minutes in is when we start getting the amount of people I would love to see here, but not yet. All right. I could whip out my boobies. Would that help?
It might.
As long as you mash them together.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. President. Anyway, remember the stand-up by Dave Chappelle? She's like, Mr. President. He's like, bitch, my wife. Yeah. Happy birthday.
That crawls. I can't take that. It crawls all over me. I don't know, that whole the way she did that. It's like ugh, just ugh. It's kind of grimy. I don't know. It's weird.
That's funny. So Tragedy 6 is done and completed. As you know, I always complete the entire. Charles said, "Bye now." I always have the books done before the campaign launches, so you're not waiting other than the printer. Because these days the printers have been pretty slow. I mean, I work with a printer I really love. They're good people, great with communication. They even go above and beyond, but lately they've been really slow. So I don't want to slow it up any further.
Do you use one printer for all, or do you use different ones depending?
No, I use different ones for different things. Like I have Artist Express is great, especially since they do one-offs if you want, and they're really quick. Anthony Delaney is awesome, so I really like them. I use Comics Wellspring. I use Ready Print for my glow-in-the-darks, and I use. Yeah, and I just recently started using Comic Express, is it? For some trade paperbacks on Guido's campaign. So, different stuff. And then for stickers, you're using Sticker Mule, and so we're going all over the place. But you got to go where the rates are good and where the communication is good and where they're fast. I mean, I've dealt with some printers that are really solid, but the communication's horrible. The turnaround time is terrible. So. All right, let's do this. Let's go! Yay!
I use my Axum for my sketchbook that I did. They did a really good job. Prices were good, the shipping was good, and the communication was really good. I definitely use them again for a reorder.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I thought the prices are really good. I got like 50 copies, 40 pages, full color, 100-pound cover, and it was like $300 shipped. So that wasn't too bad for the price for a small run.
Not bad. So we just launched live. We are here waiting on you guys. Where is everybody? It's still light out, so maybe they're all out having fun. We have a $500 goal. The reason why I put the goal low is because I've already paid for the book, and as much as I want to make that money back, I just want to be able to have the book printed and out. So that's why the goal is low, because I've already spent the money on making the book. Hey, Greg Johnston, another great dude, great musician. This weekend, is it this weekend, Greg? which I wish you warned me earlier because I wanted to go. He has an outdoor festival that is going to raise funds for ALS, which is a really horrible disease. So it's Saturday. So if you're in the Connecticut area, go out there. It's for a great cause. There's going to be a lot of live bands. So check it out. ALS is honestly one of the worst. It is so bad. And too many good people have been lost to it. So, and if you don't know what ALS is, just think of Lou Gehrig's disease. All right, and look it up. It's a muscular skeletal disease, and obviously it's very debilitating. It can cause you to be a paraplegic, not be able to swallow. There are people on feeding tubes, intubated or on oxygen. Your body just fails you, but the thing is, your mind is still there and you're trapped. So it's a horrible disease. And Greg lost someone very close to him, so he's doing this benefit that will benefit you to have a good day out with the family, enjoy some music, cover bands, etc. But at the same time, some money donated to research towards figuring out how to save people from this illness. All right. So having said that, we are launched live. Nobody seems to know yet. So somebody pledge. All right. I'm gonna play I'm just exhausted. I'm gonna play the trailer, and you guys tell me what you think.
Okay, cool.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
All right, because I don't know why it's doing this. It's pissing me off. I'm hardwired into the damn computer. It did this on my Ken Marion show the other night. It's pissing me off. Can something just go friggin' right for once? Jesus Christ. All right, let's try this again. He does all my tragedy trailers. Two things. First, that trailer does not have the studio cover by Kevin. Jesus Christ. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, but I hear you.
Hello? It kicked out again. I was saying the trailer is missing the cover by Kevin, unfortunately, because of timing. Which is not Kevin's fault by any means. It's just how things worked out. It's the timing of the trailer with the music and everything. It was difficult, And by the time I got the cover colored, it was a mess. So we're gonna look at that cover, while we look at this campaign, because it's an awesome cover. The composition is just out of this world and different, and really love the cover. And it's the studio cover. So we're gonna go look at that. I just want everybody to know, if you're not familiar with Tragedy, this isn't just some derivative vigilante hero. The story is not like everything else you read. It's not what you may think it looks like on the surface. She's not a wannabe Elektra or Batman or Moon Knight at all. There is Chinese mysticism and martial arts. There are superpowered people. There are metahumans. There are cyborgs. There are were-tigers. There are a lot of things in this, and it's just, again, when Chuck Dixon, Peter David, and Howard Mackey say that it's a good story, I don't know what else to tell you. So that's that. But you can read up on the story here. This is by Dustin Tyree, who did a great job. Now, I don't like to do the sexual stuff, but I think people misconstrue sex for sexuality. Femininity is a beautiful thing to celebrate, and I have nothing against femininity, obviously. I have nothing against sex either. But I don't want to do the porn stuff. I don't want to pop her boobs out and have her, her camel toe sticking in the thing. That's fine if that's what you do. It's just not my thing. So, but we went with something that, is feminine and it's coy and it's cute, and we like this. So there you go.
I think it's a playful side.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Lewis, what's going on? Lewis, did your campaign end? If it didn't, drop your links. So Tragedy 6 takes over after the events of the first storyline, and how I'm writing it is plots are opening as some are closing. Like their life is a spiderweb, right? It's got all these threads. People are subplots. Things happen constantly all over you. I'm introducing things in the first 5 chapters that are going to be major things coming into the next arcs and stuff. Oh, okay, sorry, but you can still promote yourself. And Tragedy 6 takes over after the major events of 1 through 5, of which, if you didn't get the trade paperback with the Chris Pachalo, David Mack, or Bill Sienkiewicz cover, you can on this campaign. And it doesn't introduce, they were already introduced, but it delves around 2 new villains that are really nasty. And to be honest with you, my favorite one is the were-tiger, Alexei. And the thing is, Alexei is not just a were-tiger, another were, it's a big deal. You'll have to read his origin story, which has been written and is going to go into production at some point, to see why he's different than any other were-tiger character.
I
try to do things and go by different angles. I don't even force it. It's just my stories, different takes on things. What's that?
No, I like his design. It looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Here's the Mark Bagley cover. What were you saying?
No, he said he liked the were-tiger, which I think is a really cool design too.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I thought he said something after that. So This is the Mark Bagley cover, colored by Chris Sotomayor. I think we have a lag, guys.
A little bit.
So if you like Mark Bagley, he's well known for Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man is like his biggest things, but he's done plenty of other things. This is the Bagley cover, and I'm going to show off the original art that arrived in the mail today in a little bit. Here is the studio cover by Kevin Steward, our guest. This is, just phenomenal composition. The title in the background, he's ripping and tearing at the page, and Tragedy in the background with the crack mask going, oh shit. The one thing I pride myself on in my stories is I'm tired of heroes always winning. Like He-Man, as much as the characters are cool, they always win. It's like, come on, man. Skeletor's not a threat if the good guys always win. I hate that. And I really hate, this is you can talk on this, Chris, because it's a movie thing they do. And I'll use a perfect example. The last Spider-Man film that had the 3 Spider-Mans, right? Green Goblin in the middle, William Dafoe. beats the shit out of everybody, takes out Aunt May, beats him to a pulp, and you were like, yeah, this is a bad villain. You get to the third act, and Peter gets angry and he beats him up easily. I hate that.
I always say that's that Rocky moment, right? He's like, he gets that last little bit of energy and takes out the bad guy. It's just an old trope,
It's weak and I hate it. Listen, this dude, this were-tiger, is like the Hulk and Sabretooth together, right? Now he's not as strong as the Hulk, but he's, Tragedy is an Olympic level fighting martial artist and a tactician, etc. But she's a human. Like, I don't buy this Batman beating Superman shit. Sorry, it's not happening. Not happening. Give Batman prep time, and he can be Galactus. Shut up. Just shut up. All right.
I think they've got to give him something to be able to give him some kind of leverage to beat Superman, because we all know Superman would just instantly like super speed into him and he's done. That's it. Flick him with his finger and Batman's done.
Exactly, kryptonite or not.
Well, that's kind of the cool thing with the Dark Knight. Was the Dark Knight Returns when Superman was holding back like until he did the whole kryptonite dust thing. Like, Superman knew he could kill him, but he was not trying to hurt him. And I think they kind of got away from that in the later when they tried to do the other variations of Batman fighting Superman, where he just dominates. I'm like, there's no way.
Like, they try to put him on an equal footing with Superman.
Yeah, like it's just ridiculous. Like, Superman could pluck him and decapitate him. So,
and I would say that I would give Batman some leeway in the fact that he knows that Superman would not kill him.
Right.
Really.
Right.
So he uses that as an advantage against Superman to be able to push it further, because he knows he can't kill Superman technically, but he can the ability disable him to the point where he can control him.
Even some of Batman's villains, I don't think Batman should be able to take him out. Like, he shouldn't be beating Clayface or Killer Croc. Not no straight up
right.
Fight. Like,
exactly.
No, I agree with that.
No, I agree. I mean, I know he's got the intelligence and everything, but you can only do so much and go so far. I may be smarter than some big gym rat guy, but if he clocks me, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's cut it out.
But I guess it's like hyperrealism. Like, you're supposed to be like he's human, but he's like, no, this is extraordinary human. So I guess you can let it go.
Yeah, they do take his limitations away from him. Like, he is just a normal guy who is fatigued, who's battle damaged, who's sore.
But let me ask you, then how relatable does he get to be? Because he's never down. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what we liked about Nightfall, and what made Bane a great character is that he beat him. He out-strategized him, and then he beat him physically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably the last time we saw like the vulnerable Batman, right? Like, where he actually just got tired.
Probably the only time. So, getting back to the point, Breath of the Dragon was a character she can't beat, and this Were-Tiger is a character she can't beat. I want her to face odds that are, seem insurmountable, and she has to find a way. And it's a real way, it's a realistic way. By chapter 13, it's going to be really good. Chapter 13 is one of my favorite scripts that I wrote. It's a 23-page all-out brawl in the middle of Manhattan. It's just a blast. That's what makes Batman a better character. He has limitations, has to use strategy. Yeah, but they don't write him that way. What's up, William? They don't write him that way, Charles. He doesn't have limitations. He beats everybody. He's the smartest. I mean, he beats Superman. He beats Martian Manhunter. He beats everybody. He beat white Martians. Like, stop. But anyway, let's get back to this.
Can I add? This is a really good cover, man. You do very good anatomy. And one thing I noticed about this that a lot of people don't do well is you draw hands very well.
And foreshortening.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, just little details like that, really makes a difference. Yeah, he does a very good job with that.
I'll say I appreciate that very much, because I feel like I struggle in those areas terribly with hands and stuff. I feel like I've always shortcome in the hand department when I'm drawing.
That's a good hand. Like I said, your foreshorten, like Phil says, foreshortening is probably one of the hardest things for any artist to do, and you did a good job in this piece.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm very proud of this cover. I think it looks good. I love it.
I agree. It's fantastic. When you showed the composition, I was wow, and then he showed it to me finished. This is David River. There's another great one. Really dynamic action, movement. I love this. And these are the two villains. This is Xi Zhang, and this is Alexei. Alexei is the head of the Russian mafia. Xi Zhang has a secret connection to tragedy and the Breath of the Dragon, and he wants them both dead. And there's a reason for that. Alexei is just rival mafia, and he has his other motives. He's the last of his kind, too. So David River knocked us out of the park. Again, fantastic colors.
Oh, yeah.
That's a spectacular cover.
This is Ricardo Silva. Ricardo, he's so busy doing interiors, and he's on book 9 right now for me, and I always forget to offer him a cover, right? So he sends me a DM of this, all inked up, and I go, dude, this is incredible. He goes, you want to use it as a cover, you could just have it. Now, I paid him for it. I'm not going to just do that, but I don't like accepting free work. But I was like, damn, I mean, look at the face.
Oh, yeah, he's...
And then the colors, of course, were fantastic.
And the blood and stuff. Yeah, it was really cool.
You can tell he's tired. He's like, he's going for that second wind almost. Like he's not done doing what he's got to do.
Well, he has a fight cage in underneath his building where he holds a fight club, but he also needs to eat. Let's just put it that way. So it gets interesting.
When he turns into the were-tiger, does he still has like his is he feral, or does he still have like intelligence?
All right, you know what? I'm just gonna spoil it. Screw it. The tiger is his true form. The tiger is his true form. He can turn into a human.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay.
There's a reason for that, which is explained in his origin called Primal. He has his intelligence, but his race didn't want to embrace the human side. They thought the human side was weak. So they embraced the feral primal side. But he has his intelligence, he just doesn't give a crap. He's like, no, you know what? You don't speak to me like this. It's like in the jungle, right? The strongest is the leader, not the smartest, so to speak, right? They value the strength. And he has a right-hand man named Sergey, who has been teaching him since he was a cub. He found him. It's a long story. I can't get into its primal, and he advised him on how to utilize the human side to gain power and prestige and to balance the two. But he has to wrangle Alexei in a lot because Alexei is like, oh, fuck this. I'm just going to rip this guy apart. I don't need to deal with this. I don't care about pomp and circumstance and discussions at a table. I can rip this guy's head off and he can kiss my ass. And Sergey has to rein him in like, no, this is not how we're going to do this. Keep cool. You're good, So there's a dynamic between the two of them there. And Sergey's like a father to him. And he respects Sergey despite being a human. So long story short, his race, because they embraced the tiger side, never had an industrial revolution. So their race only had about 800 people in the Siberian tundra. And the Russian military found them, and there was a big fight, and they wiped them out, and he was a cub, and he was the only one left. And Sergey, who was a Russian military intelligence, found him and secretly kept him and groomed him to grow up. So cool. Yeah, so it's a really, I thought it was a really good, cool story. Actually, Mike Lilly is probably going to do the interiors on it. We're in discussion. Mike Lilly is doing the interiors on it. It's called Primal. It's a one-shot. I have 5 villain one-shots for Tragedy that are coming. Breath of the Dragon, I can't announce the artist on that yet because if it winds up happening, which it's a very good chance, this is like a dream come true to have this artist do interiors on one of my books. That's all I'm going to say. So Alexei is a complex character. Ricardo said his cover is amazing. The artist is incredible. Self-praise is no recommendation. Thank you, Guido. I appreciate that. So yeah, basically a Russian mage in 16th century, 1600s Russia, took a male and female human, a male and female Siberian tiger, and through magic he merged them because he wanted to create what he felt was the perfect being. A great predator and at the same time the mind of a human. But in reality, we think we're so arrogant as humans. We think that we're at the top of the food chain because of our intelligence. Granted, we've created machines and stuff. But if you gave me a stick and put me in the middle of the jungle, I'm not the top of the food chain. I'm not winning. So the primal side, the tiger side, took over just by nature. Mm-hmm. I can't see you and I'm live. What are you doing? Hi. So it deals with that. Anyway, so this is Ricardo's cover. This is Erwin J. Arosa's cover. I really like this one as well. We have a black and white version. And that's Zhizhang. Zhizhang is a telekinetic and a telepathic, but again, he has an interesting story to him. It's something that's never been done before. I'm not tooting my own horn. A lot of people are writing great stuff. They're better writers than me. I'm not saying that I'm the best, but I am writing stuff that is different. It is new. It hasn't been done before. Origins to villains, where they're getting their powers, and good guys. It's all different. It's not stuff you've seen before. Breath of the Dragon has an ability nobody's ever used before. So I'm creating a world of characters that are new, are fresh, are different. It's just you got to take the plunge and see for yourself. So this is, and then this is Francesco Tomaselli, who's done a bunch of Spawn covers recently and some DC covers. And that's again Zhizhang and Alexei. Now they're not working together. They're two different forces coming from different sides at Tragedy's world. Tragedy and the Breath of the Dragon, and even Joe and Tony. I don't waste characters. Everybody's got their story, So this is done well. Of course, we've got the great Steph Wilson, who's always on my campaigns, who is always a top seller. He went a little different this time, and I always challenge him. I don't to try to do something that's different than he usually does, and he always steps up. And Carrie Ann, of course, did the colors, so thank you to them. Fantastic. Cool. A lot of people feel that's their favorite cover that Steph's done. And this is Adriano Oliveri, who did a phenomenal job of Tragedy. He was the first cover I actually got done for this campaign. He reached out to me, asking me if I needed a cover. I really liked his work. I was like, yeah, let's do it. So you should all hire him. Nice. It's not an easy perspective that he did here from this angle, just so you know. What's up, sweetie? What's the matter? Yeah, I know. I saw Mommy's text, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now. I'm live. Huh?
I think all these covers so far on this campaign.
Does she want me to get off?
I'm not trying to say because my cover's on here, but
because
these covers are like they're like better. They get better every campaign.
Oh yeah,
these are some spectacular covers.
I got it. You guys, enough.
They are. I like that Tiger character really stands out to me though. Like out of all the Tragedy villains, I like Breath of the Dragon obviously, but this guy right here is pretty cool.
There's always something about animals.
Alexei's my favorite villain.
Right, especially when you make them like humanize them. They didn't be very attractive.
And I like tiger characters anyway. Any animal that's like a tiger or a feline or something, I think they're cool looking.
Yeah, well, and it's funny. Someone said he's Russian. Why didn't you make him a bear? I'm like, how many times have we had the Russian say, bear, werebear? I just with
a big gat.
I was like, how about how about a Siberian tiger, right? A Siberian tiger, white tiger. That would be cool. And I wanted him to be hulking, big. I'm a big Sabretooth fan. I love the Hulk. I was like, let's do that. Here's the Dustin Tyree cover, of course. which, like I said, I like the femininity, the coy, playful side, which you don't really see in the comic book.
Nah,
I just want everybody to know there are PDFs for all the physical books in here except for the hardcover art book, by the way. So you can get the PDFs if your family member doesn't want you cluttering the house with more books, or if money's tight. I totally get it. We got the Bagley cover. I try to keep prices, reasonable for Kickstarter guys. You do have to understand that our print runs are much higher than most people, and we have to. It's hard for us. I just read what he said. We have to, we have to do what we have to do. Because making him a Siberian Husky would have been too cute for a villain, right? Yeah.
And he would have been a very stubborn villain.
Yeah, and he would have chewed all your shoes.
Yeah.
It was really great getting Mark on this. Mark, the turnaround was so fast. He's awesome, dude. I'm going to show the original art that I got in the mail today after we go over the campaign. Here's Kevin's cover again. And by the way, the book is 28 pages. I forget, but it's a chock full story. It's not 17 pages and then a bunch of fluff. It's a full story, guys. We give you your money's worth. And if you've been reading the story, you're gonna want to keep going. I've been told I'm really good at cliffhangers.
Oh yeah.
The Dustin Tyree cover.
Your examples of your previous books are good examples of the cliffhangers.
Like issue 1, she got beat. The first, shit.
She got more than beat. She got her ass handed to her.
I mean, that was a ballsy move. It was good. It worked. But that was a ballsy move in the first issue to do that.
It was funny because Sean Chen comes up to me at I run I was running conventions of my own. I haven't in a while, but I've been running conventions of my own. I had a small satellite show during COVID, and Sean walks up to me and he puts the book down in front of people that are about to buy. He goes, "I can't believe you kill off your main character at the end of the first book." I go, "Sean, quiet." So it was funny. Obviously she's not dead though. And then I did something people loved and hated at the same time in book 2, where she's not in the entire second issue. And you're wondering what happened to her. And you find out in the last page. And people thought that was crazy. I had a professional writer. Well, here's the thing. Dan DiDio, who I love, he's a great guy, and he's a great fan of comics. He didn't like that at all. He thought it was a bad move, which... I wanted to take a risk. I wanted to do something different. It's been received well by fans, which is really what matters the most. But, obviously you take professionals like him who've been in the industry for years, you take their critiques, and he was nice about it. He wasn't a jerk or anything. You take their critiques and you learn and you listen and you pay attention, But luckily, it's been going over well with the fans. So these are the covers. And they're all 15 except for the Bagley, it's 20. And you can get the black and white version of Irwin's cover here. I like them both so much. I was like, to hell with that. So I offer, you actually get a $5 discount if you buy both covers, right? Because they're $15 each. But if you want the black and white, I knocked $5 off. You can get them both for $25. So,
I like his rendition of Tragedy.
Yeah.
So the way his rendering of her is really nice.
He has like a hyper-realistic, gritty movie type thing going on, I mean, this guy could probably do movie posters.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of David Mackey, right? The guy that did
David Mack?
Yeah, David Mack.
David Mack, yeah. Mack did a cover on my trade paperback.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and he wrote Daredevil and created Echo.
How did he do that cover right there? Was that drawn or was it 3D or was it like photo?
It's digital. It's digital, but he did it in layers. Like I have the layer of just without Tragedy on it, just the two of them, and it's pretty cool. I'm going to use it as a print, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then of course we've got Variant G by Adriano Oliveira. Sorry, forgive me. Then we got sketch covers. If you want sketch covers, then pick any three that you want at a discounted rate, right? We took $5 off. And then you get the all-in. You get all the covers. Add-ons, you can do a sketch cover pack of 5. We knock off $2 off each one because they're $10 each, but we knock off $2 each. The hardcover, which, by the way, the printer said is done, sent me digital proofs that I got to look at. I didn't get a chance to today. They are done. If I approve them, they will be shipped, and that campaign is going to be going good. I want everybody to know this. If you're reluctant to back Tragedy 6 because of Madcaps just ended and we have Night and we have this, and you're like, I haven't got my books, talk to anybody that has backed my campaigns. Not only do you always get what you ask for, it always comes packed properly, but I fulfill pretty quickly. Now, I promise you, Night by Guido, we're just waiting on Comic Express to get the trade paperbacks to us. That's the only thing we're waiting on. And that thing is going to be fulfilled within a day and out to everybody, that campaign. The hardcover, I'm just waiting on that hardcover, and the proof for Philbo Publishing Presents is coming tomorrow, the physical proof. So once that's approved, that'll be shipped out next week. So both these campaigns are going to be fulfilled in the next couple of weeks in their entirety. You have my word. As far as Madcaps, it just ended. We're waiting for the funds to come in. Once the funds come in, we drop the PDF to everybody, and we get to print, and we will fund. You have my word. You can pledge and back safely, confidently. I will make sure you get everything you've backed.
I've actually backed several of Phil's campaigns, and they've all came in prestige packaging on time. He even puts a little bit more in there. You get like a couple extra little goodies, and so I
always do that.
I recommend him. He's probably one of the fastest. His campaigns turn around the fastest as far as getting it funded and delivery. He's one of the best out there. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate that, and I really take it seriously. I do take it seriously. You're spending your hard-earned money on me. You have my word. I will never renege on a campaign. This is like my 15th or 16th campaign in 3 or 4 years. I have never once had anybody upset about my campaigns. I had one person who, you know how you get those little tags on the corner of the book at the bottom of the spine, sometimes from the printer? Yeah. It's a minor little tag. Yeah. Well, this person had a tag, and they made a public post. Kevin, you remember this, right? Mm-hmm. They made a public post bashing me, saying it came damaged, it wasn't packed right, and I was like, I said, even though there was no damage to that book, that was just a little tag from the printer. I said, look, I'll send you a new one. It's okay. They could have messaged me privately, but they went loud. And even when I offered them a new one, they just wanted to fight with me and argue. I think they just wanted to complain that day. Yeah. And then when I showed them how the packages were packed and they were taped up like 18 times, they deleted the post, but no longer back me. That's the only issue I've ever had, but nobody's ever complained. One guy, they didn't get their stuff for whatever reason, maybe it was a porch pirate or whatever. I replaced it. I believe in customer service. So you have my word. You can pledge safely. We got Philbo Publishing Presents. Only $15. It's a collected volume of Tragedy 1, Withered 1, and Dynamics 1, so you can do a little sampling of Philbo and what we've got to offer. And Withered is a totally different story, too. It's not typical angels and demons. I write different stories. I take pride in that. I come up with ideas that other people haven't thought of or haven't been used. I'm very proud of that. We got the trade paperback. Again, that's this. It's a thick book. 224 pages. You got the Chris Bachalo cover. As you can see there, Bill Sienkiewicz and David Mack to choose from. So please do. We've got the Tragedy manga, which goes backwards. It goes the traditional Japanese way, illustrated by Kenny Calderon, and this cover by Kenny Calderon. And everybody's raving, saying that it's really good. I got it right here. I'm going to show it to you. You're going to love it. You're going to want it. And you know why? Because you just want it. That's why. So here it is. This is the Ava Schrager, which I'm going to show. And these are the interiors. If you like manga, black and white, that's some good shit. So check that out. We got the Schrager cover too. It's a 40-page book. It's kind of like a 1 point, Tragedy 1 2.0, right? We redrew the whole thing. It's the same story, but we added 10 pages of action, and we changed it up. I told Kenny, do not look at the old book. Let's start new. Go off the script. I don't want you taking anything from that. The Dynamics, only $10. Kenny Calderon cover, Dad Bod. If you like Incredibles, if you like Power Pack, you'll like this. And number 2, we're going to be looking to launch number 2 sometime next year with Rob Powers on interiors. Withered, as we spoke about, is actually the second book, is being illustrated by the great Marvel DC artist Louis Manna. Louis is a great guy and a great storyteller, a pro's pro, and I'm looking forward to Withered 2. Devils in the Details is my 88-page short story prose book that's gotten a lot of great reviews. And guys, if you've read any of these and you want to say something, feel free. Hint, hint.
Oh, yeah.
Diary of Dread. Kevin, by the way, did a great cover on this, and he also did the trade dress. He did the format of the book for me. He came up with the logo. I asked him, I want to do like an old EC Comics homage type cover. He came up with this logo, and he put all this together. So Kevin is the brains behind that, and I just, of course, got the cover artist to put the art in. I came up with the mascots, and we did this. So thank you to Kevin, who's a big horror fan, who did a great job. And, dude, people are raving about this horror book.
Yeah.
You're missing out.
I was, as a horror fan, like Diary of Dread, definitely, aside from Tragedy, is probably my second favorite thing Phil's put out. Especially if you like the old EC horror books. Like, if you're a fan of like the Creep Show movie and things, that's definitely, Tales from the Crypt, that's definitely, I would recommend getting that. And also, Withered is a really good read as well. But I'm a horror guy.
Which one is?
I got Withered.
Yeah.
The Diary of Dread, it reminded me, when I was reading those stories, of like the late 80s, early 90s, a little bit like Tales from the Dark Side. And
right.
It definitely like Tales from the Crypt, because it's kind of like, it's not over the top, but it runs that line of just, suspense and just feel good classic horror that you just want to, you want more of, that we don't have nowadays.
Yeah.
And it has some twists you don't see coming.
And it's not like just gore and mean-spirited. It's fun. It's fun horror. So, I guess it's for kids, but, it's definitely something that, you won't be disturbed reading. It's entertaining, if nothing else.
Well, the funny thing is,
on like HBO, like watching the shows on HBO at like 10 o'clock at night. That's kind of where I was sitting with those stories. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
That's cool. That's what I was going for. I remember, Kevin, you telling me the last story was like, dude, was pure evil. And the storyboard artist for the Creepshow TV show read it, and he said the last story disturbed him. So, yeah, I like to write stories that the greatest horror about them is that they could possibly happen, I want to let everybody know there's a lot of limited tiers on here, which we're going to look over and go over. And Kickstarter, it's hard. You can't put them as add-ons as well because they're limited. If someone, it won't track right, and then you're gonna run out. It's really hard. So they're all only one on the reward. You can't do them as add-ons. So if you want more than one limited item, just contact me through Facebook, and I will guide you on what you need to do to get it. I'm going to tell you to put money in the price in the donation section, but I'll know to take off there. Okay. I'll know to take off one of the limited numbers if you put the money in donation, because I don't want anybody to get it, and it was sold out. So just reach out to me and I'll help you if you have more than one item that's limited that you want. Because we've got a few left of these glow-in-the-darks. They were left over. We printed 25 only. I have, I think, 5 left. Glow-in-the-dark covers. So these are available. When I limit them to 25, I promise you they're limited to 25. I do not reprint them. I do not print extra for damages. I don't print extra. 25 is 25. If one comes damaged, then I will replace that one for that person. I will print one, but I do not fudge numbers. I don't do it to increase the value of it. I only did 25 because I didn't think I was going to need to sell. I didn't think I'd sell more than 25. So we have one left glow-in-the-dark trade paperback with the Bill Sienkiewicz cover. This thing glows bright as hell. Both of them do, by Ready Print. So this is the trade paperback, 224 pages, issues 1 through 5, plus the original tragedy issue, but it's glow-in-the-dark Bill Sienkiewicz cover. Limited to one. I only have one. This is signed by Bill Sienkiewicz and Alex Sinclair, the colorist. And this is the trade paperback. I only have one left. We only had 3, I think. We sold 2 in the other campaign. Here we have Wills Patacio foils. There's 5 of them. Probably saw the pictures of me with him last year. Wills is a friend. Great guy. I mean, look at these foils. Look at that foil. It's signed by Wills. It's a beautiful shine. Look at that. And they're in great condition. Guys, these are 9.9s, just so you know. Everything that's signed is going to come with a COA, okay? You have a COA coming to you. I have a Tyler Kirkham cover signed. It's a Virgin cover. It's the last one I have signed by him. All right, this is it. This is issue 2. So that will come with a COA, which ironically the art on it is the Tyler Kirkham cover. So it's kind of cool. Geraldo Borges, who's on Nightwing and Thunderbolts and Dick Tracy right now, and he did Wolverine Apocalypse. So we had printed with a printer a while ago who apparently didn't believe in proofs, and that was somehow my fault. And another person who I won't name sent the files in, but they sent the covers at a low res. And, of course, they took no accountability, and I was the one stuck with the bill. But anyway, I digress. Geraldo signed the low pixelated covers, which are rare in their own right because they are, they're defective, although the interiors are perfectly fine. And they're of the original book. So it's a really rare book, and I had Geraldo sign it. So I have 5 of those. I have these Sean Chen remarks, which I have them here. The red sun, the orange sun one is a Virgin, and it's the original cover, original book. And then we have the Lightning version, and it's Breath of the Dragon. And these are really detailed remarks, guys. They're not just crappy phoned in, remarks. So these are available and limited to 1 each. And then we have signed by Shelby Robertson cover, a limited to 1. And that is, I think I have more than 1. I think I have like 3 or 4. I have to check. And Shelby Robertson, he worked with Rob Liefeld and Extreme Studios. And this is the original #1 book before I remastered it. We have original art tiers. These are sketch covers. That's original art by Kenny Calderon, Taskmaster versus Breath of the Dragon. Zealot from Wildcats versus Tragedy. Deathstroke the Terminator versus Breath of the Dragon by Sean Carlson. These are original art on sketch covers. J.M. DeSantis. Michael Gerlich. I forgot his first name. Oh, my God. Williams II. What's his first name? I am so sorry. I apologize, sir. He did these 2. We've got Envu. And then we have published covers. Everybody who knows me knows I don't want to sell original art. I don't. I want to own it all. I want to keep it all. But as you know, my father, who just recently passed away, I wanted to get Papa in his hands before he died, and it didn't happen. But I still want to get Papa made in honor of my dad. And I also think it's a really good story that I want to share with everybody. And everybody who reads it raves about it and says it's a wonderful Silver Age tale of heroism. So in order to make this book, I need the money. It's a $15,000 book to make. It's a 110-page graphic novel, and it wouldn't work to do it chapter by chapter. It's got to be its entire story. So I'm selling the original Bill Sienkiewicz cover. This is pencil and pencil and ink by Bill Sienkiewicz himself. And you may say, well, it's an obscure character. Who cares? Well, If you can afford $10,000 to $20,000 for an original Bill Sienkiewicz, I don't disagree with you. But if you can't, for $5,000, you have an original Bill Sienkiewicz, and you never know if this character blows up, it could become a $20,000 piece easily. But either way, you can say you own an original Bill Sienkiewicz for only $5,000. All right, and it'd be going to a great cause. To be honest with you, I could probably sell this for $7,500, but I didn't want to. I'm not trying to gouge anybody. I sold a prelim. He did a prelim, and I sold that for $2,500. So this is the published cover. Mike DeBalfo, I really don't want to depart with this one. I really love this cover. Mike is a great guy. He's one of the great guys in the industry. I consider a friend. He's really a good human being, and I think he draws women unbelievably. I'm looking forward to getting another cover from him. I don't want to sell this, but I have to. It's a published cover. It's actually one of the highest selling tragedy covers. It's going for $1,000. Ryan Kincaid, another great cover. That's $800. Al Garza. Now the Al Garza, it's taped behind it. I didn't want to untape it. He gave me the grayscale, the gray tone, but he also has a black and white one he did that's fully black and white without gray tones behind it. So you're kind of getting two covers here for $800. These are all 11x17 original published covers. This went on to be colored by Alex Sinclair. Do You Poo, we did a very rare limited run cross connecting covers with Marat Michaels, who you know does Counterpoint Comics, Naughty and Nice, Do You Poo, Dead Poo, all these other things. And he also worked for Extreme Studios, and he's good friends with Rob. So I own both covers drawn by Marat. The connecting covers, they're $500 each, but they have to be sold as a set, so they're $1,000. I'm not selling them separate. They come as a set. They were a limited run, but they are covers. This is a Do You Poo cover, and this is a tragedy cover. This is a Russian artist who's phenomenal. Go check him out on Instagram. His name eludes me at the moment. And it's inked by Scott Hanna. So this is $650. It was colored by Alex Sinclair. It's a published cover. Scott Hanna, one of the greatest inkers in the industry. I think he's got the record for most inked pages in comic history. Did that. Gus Malk, this one sold a ton of books. People love it. This is going for $500. Again, it's Chapter 5, a published cover, guys. And eventually I will be in distribution, and you know these covers will be out there in comic stores. You're going to want to own these. I don't want to get rid of them, but if I have to, hopefully they go to people who want them, and they go to the good cause of making Papa. Brian Silverbacks. This is another cover I really don't want to get rid of. Peter Clinton. I like this cover a lot, but this is only $250. I'm trying to give some affordable covers too to people who want published cover art and maybe can't afford, you know, $1,000. I get it. On Vu, there's 11x14, but it's painted. This is like $400, I think, or $450. We sold a couple of covers on the last campaign. And we have original art tier commissions by Ricardo Silva and Kenny Calderon. If you want original art, for $275 and $250, you can get a full figure character, black and white, you know, inked on 11x17 with a background. If you know what art prices are going for right now, that's a steal. So any character of choice, I just won't do your creator-owned IP because people turn those into covers, and that's not right. That's a different thing altogether. But we'll do fan art for you. Look at the stretch goals. These are the designs that were done. So you get a print, a comic size print of the Zhejiang Lu print. If we reach 3,500, if we reach 5,000, you're gonna get this awesome character design print of Alexei. If we hit 7,000, this was the original concept by Rob Powers for me of Alexei. That's his human form. So you would get that. If we hit 9,000, Adelson Reese's print. By the way, this is color. It's just grayed out because it's not unlocked yet. And then you're going to get the black and white print of Adriano's cover if we hit 11,000. And I have other cool stretch goals if we would pass there. We'll see. Here are some sample interiors. You saw some of these in the trailer. Ricardo Silva knocking it out of the park. Chris Sotomayor, I mean, come on. He's a 30-year veteran in DC Marvel. He's colored all the superstars. And he's just knocking out of the park for our book. And letters, of course, by Jason Meadows, who's awesome. Look at that transformation. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, you did a good job. That's going back to the Hulk.
Yeah, I was thinking too.
Look, he's got to eat.
Really good.
He's got to eat. It's violent. This isn't your mama's book. There's the team. Coming soon, there's Papa, Light Warriors, Apollo, which is Kevin's. We're going to talk about a little bit. And Arcane Syndicate, which I'm very excited about. And this cover should be coming in the mail to me any day now. So we got a lot coming from Phil Publishing, but we need you. We need your support. We need your pledge. We need your love. We need. Honestly, Kickstarter campaigns are not doing what they used to. I mean, I was a campaign that was doing 13,000. We went down to about 8,500. Then the trade paperback did over 10 grand. So, we're hoping to keep the trend going because nobody wants to go backwards. I'm grateful for every dollar, but at the same time, I'm trying to put all the money into quality books. So I'm hoping that we can keep at the level that we've been at the very least. We've got 11 backers so far. An hour in, kind of slow. Hoping it picks up. It's not me complaining. It's just being realistic as a businessman. We need these backers to come in. We need you to support, please. We know times are tough, but your money it's going to be well worth it to you. We promise. And I promise you're investing in the future of Philbo, which is only going to make the value of your pledge higher someday for you. So please check it out, and get something off the campaign, especially the original art. Help us so I can get Papa made. We got a Mark Bagley cover. I mean, I'm a humble guy. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I don't think I'm amazing. And people keep telling me how great I'm doing and how far I've come. And I don't feel like I've done shit yet. I'll be honest with you. I'm just like everybody else, scraping, trying to get some attention and love on my campaign and make good money. So I say this with humility. But factually speaking, how many indie books do you know are getting these major name covers? Bill Sienkiewicz, David Mack, Chris Picciolo, Mark Bagley, and how many are getting them at this volume? I mean, I can list at least 20 huge names that I've had the great privilege of working with so far. Now, I don't say that like, look at me, I'm something special. The point I'm trying to make is every dime that you invest in me, I'm trying to go back and give you a professional book and give you professional people on the books. So I'm not saying this like, look at me, I get these big names. I'm saying the proof that your money is going to improving the book and giving you quality stuff is look at who I'm hiring. And I'm only able to do that because of the money that I've made from your backing and your pledges. Thank you, Rally. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Rally's been an awesome dude. He's always a supporter. Thank you so much. I'm also going to throw this out there. If there's a piece of art that somebody absolutely wants on this campaign and it doesn't go during the campaign, reach out to me after and we can talk about payments. I mean, I'm not looking at over a year, but maybe 3 or 4 months we can work out installments, Cyrus Purveyor got a free PDF of 39 Cedar Lane on Free Comic Book Day. He's someone who never backed my books. I know on Facebook, and he's a great guy, but he's never read anything I've done. He read 39 Cedar Lane. He loved it. And he went on my website, and he bought Tragedies 1 through 4 because I dropped the ball and I didn't add 5 because I've been so busy and other stuff. And he read them, and he loved, and he is a fan. I sent him the scripts to Shaman and Papa, and he loved those. Thank you, Cyrus. I really appreciate that. He said, my tragedy books are better quality than either of the big two put out. That is very kind of you to say. We don't give you cheap paper. We don't give you gimmicks. We're just giving you good stories with quality product, and we really hope that you take a chance. You won't be disappointed. I promise you. You won't. One way or the other, you won't be disappointed. Having said that, we kind of want to talk about some of the most iconic female heroes and villains in comics and pop culture. Thank you for taking a chance on me, Cyrus. I really appreciate that. I really do, and I'm glad that you felt it was worth it. I know everybody works hard for their money, so thank you. So we're going to leave the Mark Bagley cover up, and we're going to talk about iconic female protagonists to start. So we'll start with Christopher, and we'll start with film. Who are your top two female protagonists in film?
I gotta go Ripley, and I would say Sarah Connor, but it took her a minute to get kind of like into like the role of a hero. So I'm drawing a blank right now. I got on tip of my tongue. I can't think of the character's name. Oh, we'll go Sarah Connor. We'll say her.
Yeah, I liked that Sarah O'Connor was just a typical kind of flaky, teenagey kind of, girl, young woman, and then she grew up fast,
Oh, yeah.
What would you say in film, Kevin?
See, he took the two that I was going to say, honestly. Sarah Connor would be my first because of exactly that character progression. It showed through the first and second movie a complete change in the way she started out. So that's how you do a good character, is you show them, you give them a change, you give them the character development so they can either advance or regress or whatever. But Sarah Connor is my first one, and not to say Ripley because Ripley is a good one. I say my second one. Oh man, it would have to be Heather Langenkamp in the Nightmare on Elm Street stories.
Nancy Thomas. I'll think about Nancy. That one too.
Okay.
She did a similar thing with the transition of being a helpless girl into a fighter by the end of the movie, and then throughout the series, she played that matriarchal position. And
number 3, yeah.
Yeah, I think she did. I think she's a good example of a strong female character.
I also liked, it was a great twist by Wes Craven when he did A New Nightmare, and like the actors were being plagued by Freddy. That was pretty cool. Yeah. I like that a lot. Good choices.
I'll say that movie didn't get enough praise for what it attempted to do in that particular franchise. It's well done.
That was the precursor to Scream. A lot of people say that. Because there was a lot of similarities. There was a couple of things in it, like the phone calls and stuff, and just the whole meta aspect of it.
Well, Scream. I think what made it so good is it hit that point of bringing all the genre classics together and still making it somewhat of a new twist on the slasher.
Right.
I agree. Even to the day, like that Scream kind of set up like the modern horror film, as far as like just again breaking the rules, the whole rule thing about horror films. It did a good job of establishing that and making it bring it to our world.
Well, Wes Craven was awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but Sydney. That's another character. Like Sydney.
I was about to say Sydney. Yeah, I think she was really good too.
Yeah,
good arc.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, definitely. And Laurie Strode from Halloween. She was pretty kick ass.
See, now that's funny that you said that, because for me, it was gonna. Ripley and Sarah Connor, and I was going to say Laurie Strode. Yeah, I think those three are really great examples. Again, Laurie was just a teenager, flighty, like everybody was, just being a typical teenager, and she was forced to grow up, and she protected those kids, and she faced that nightmare, and so that's what I'd say. Now, when it comes to comic, how about villains in film? Female villains. Can we think of any?
Hold on, it's gonna come to me. Wait a minute. There are some, and it's.
That's a hard one.
So, all right, the quick one I could think of is not the sequel, the second Judge Dredd movie. The female, the one, the villainess in that one.
Yeah. With the scars. She was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, she was good. Yeah. She was good.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good one.
Yeah, she is.
By the way, anybody watching, you can join in too.
Yeah, a short-lived character. I think over a franchise, a couple movies, it might have been, even more good with her. But she played a strong character in just that one movie. Yeah, definitely. She hit that comic character trope really well.
Yeah. Oh, I got a good one.
It was a good movie too, underrated.
Misery. Fucking
yeah.
I can't think of her name right now.
I can't think of her name, but I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah,
she's probably the best. Like, that's probably one of the best female villains, I think.
She's pure evil. Yeah, she was.
Sorry, we lost you there. Say that again.
Misery.
Who?
God, why can't I think of why can't I think of her name?
Yeah, I can't think of her name either. She's been in a ton of movies.
I mean, I can't. I should know this. I gotta Google her name real quick. God damn.
What has she been in?
You remember the movie though, right? She's been in Misery. She's been in a ton of movies outside of that. I can't think of the names. I see her.
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates. Actually, I was going to say Misery. That was a fantastic female villain. Yeah. Misery, absolutely.
Misery was a good one.
That's what Christopher said. He said Misery.
We're lagging.
No, you guys broke up.
I'll say another good one.
Yep.
The first Friday 13th, Jason's mom.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good one. There's a few of them. I don't know if I would consider Carrie a villain. I mean, she was a victim
tragic. In my mind.
Yeah, she was tragic. She was tragic.
Yeah.
No, the Jason's mothers are real good. Probably one of the greats.
Yeah.
One of the greats.
That's probably one of the best twists we've had. Like, like outside of Psycho, you didn't see that one coming.
Well, there you go. Norman Bates in Psycho was a good female.
There you go. It takes me a little bit of time, but it's starting to come to me.
Well, there's not a whole lot of female villains that kind of stick to you if you think of it. They don't really focus too much on the villain.
Damn, Glenn Close from Fatal Attraction. She was scared.
I would not be ignored. Don't own a rabbit.
I about to say that could almost be now. That could be.
Yeah.
That could be a real life story now. Oh man, I can't.
So how about let's go to comic books. Who in comic books are your favorite female heroes or who have been iconic? Like, for example, we've got She and Lady Death and Vampirella.
Yeah.
Are iconic.
Rogue's my favorite.
Okay. What about you, Kevin?
I'm gonna go with Elektra because she does both things. She's had some changes in her character where she's had real specific exposure on her with the Daredevil and everything else. Where she's been bad, she's been good, she's died. And I think she sticks out as like the first one on my mind, besides Wonder Woman. But Wonder Woman's kind of got that whole Superman thing about her. She's too good or whatever. It's kind of cheesy. Characters that have grit and have like tooth to them and have some faults make them, in my opinion, a much better character.
And neither one of you sons of bitches said tragedy. Bastards! No, I'm just kidding. I
can't be on the nose. I can't be on the nose with it.
All right.
Females, I was always a big Phoenix fan, Jean Grey, because she had major character changes. Now, they've done things that didn't work so well, but looking through the Species, Natasha, there's a good one by Eric Rivera, for movies.
Yeah, Species was a good one.
I've never seen that movie, so that's hard for me to speak on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, speaking on character arcs, if you go through the John Byrne era, right up until they resurrected her, through the Dark Phoenix saga, I always Jean Grey to me, Phoenix, she's an iconic, amazing hero. I was a big Kitty Pryde fan. I don't like what they're doing with her now because she was this young, innocent kid who was forced to grow up, and we watched her grow up through the X-Men. So those are some of my favorites. And I always like the Invisible Woman. Now this again was mostly a sign of the times, right? But she went from the Invisible Girl, kind of the "Oh, Reed, save me" to the most powerful one on the team, and protective Mama Bear, which I love. So she's another good one.
She got a little taste of that Namor, I think what it was.
I know, right?
A little taste of the semen. A little taste of semen.
Yeah, she's getting around, boy.
She should go to the Bahamas.
Little taste of the semen. Who would you say maybe is the most impactful female protagonist in comics?
Probably.
I mean, you're saying you've already named some like Jean Grey is a world destroyer for the most part. So she's pretty top tier. I mean, I don't know anybody who would be above her.
Now you talking about power wise? You talking about as far as like iconic?
No, I'm talking about like really iconic in the sense that boys didn't usually care about the female heroes, but this one made them care or brought women readers in. For me, I think it's Storm and it's Jean Grey. I do. I think Storm because
Storm was a good one, yeah.
How many black women were really predominantly strong and put in the forefront? There weren't.
Yeah.
Storm was a pioneer in that way. And then you look at Jean Grey for all the things I said. She had a tragic story arc. But you know what I love about Jean Grey? She picked the loser guy. Like, she didn't pick the jock. She didn't pick the big guy, the smart guy. So she picked a quiet, shy guy named Slim. It was nice to see the little guy win.
He wasn't. You talking about Cyclops, right?
Yeah, he was shy and quiet, and he didn't have a lot of confidence. They nicknamed him Slim in the Silver Age.
I mean, he was the Boy Scout, though, I would say.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, but he wasn't confident. He wasn't a very confident guy. He didn't become a confident leader until later on.
That is true. Yeah, he's went through some different.
He was just a disciple of Xavier. Xavier's a father figure to him, and his nickname was Slim. He was this lanky, skinny little dude.
That's true.
He wasn't the jock that Beast was.
No, he wasn't a jock, but they did all play like that specific cliche character.
Right.
Cyclops was
Angel
was the 80s guy. He was the to me he felt like a preppy kind of like rich kid, but with no self-esteem. And who,
but that was
like you said,
Angel was the preppy rich kid and the good-looking guy. That was Angel.
Well, until he became Archangel.
That was freaking 3 decades later, dude.
Yeah, you talking about I know we getting the eras blended in.
I'm talking about Silver Age. Cyclops was not coming into his own in the Silver Age yet.
He was a lot. Him and Spider-Man were very similar, and they were kind of like the nerdy guys.
Yeah, it was the Bronze Age that Cyclops started taking on the strong leader role, I think, or going into the Bronze Age.
But I think She-Hulk is a number one. She-Hulk was pretty cool when not that shit they're doing now, but the original one back in the day. She was pretty cool.
That's a good one. She stood on her own for quite a while. She's a good, strong single solo character. You don't see many solo female characters either. They're usually in a group or a team or something.
But to me, the most iconic female of all time does have to be Wonder Woman, and I'll say one because we're looking at World War II era. She was a Captain America of DC in World War II, and at a time where women, they weren't treated like that. She was this powerful woman. Now, obviously, it's not why she was created. If everybody knows the background and why she was created, it was actually a submissive thing. It was a polygamy thing. But anyway, she to me is the iconic female character of all pop culture that is easily recognized by everyone. She represents the best of America, the best of women, the best of people. So I think she has to get the nod for number one most iconic.
I think Linda Carter still is the best Wonder Woman.
She was awesome.
She really just like she did for Wonder Woman. Christopher Reeve did for Superman, in my opinion. As far as just having that just that energy and that persona.
Agreed.
I don't know. I kind of got a.
The show is a little cheesy, but fun.
I kind of got a spot for Big Barda.
Big Barda's cool. Big Barda, she never got she never came mainstream. But yeah, man, I know what you're talking about.
Well, Big Barda.
Big Barda.
Big Barda put a whooping on you.
Yeah. I think it's the name that kind of threw people off. I don't think the name really, because you don't, when you hear Big Barda, that's not what you envision.
Yeah.
No, I think Kevin just wants a woman that can dominate him.
I've already got that, but like Barda just like, she's almost like the redneck version of Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
like the kind of that would go and get in a fight at a bar with you kind of girl. She'll drink you on the table, then whoop your ass after she's done with it. Yeah, Barda's always she's kind of got that little cuck, Miracle Man, not Miracle Man, but what's his name?
Yeah, Miracle Man's her guy.
It's Miracle Man, right?
Hey,
yes, whatever his name is.
I got to step away for 1 second. I got some groceries at the door I got to get, so I'll be right back.
All right.
I'll be right back.
But I like that combination of Big Barda and Mr. Miracle. It's a good dynamic.
You know, we just learned a lot about you, Kevin.
She's a good character. What are you talking about? She's good.
Dude, this is a slow start, man.
That's Thursday.
Times are tough. It's a slow start. My campaigns are usually at like $1,000 already. Damn.
Yeah.
Tough times.
Well, they're not. I mean, this is the turn in the story that people need to get on. The introduction to new characters. The story is changing. It's going to be even better than the first 5 issues. I mean, this story has proven itself to be a solid hit. It's quality, and it's coming out pretty much every couple of months, it seems like. So, I mean, it's a great time to get on it, with the new characters especially.
And that's the thing, is I feel like it provides everything you'd want, right? I mean, if you're a big fan of just awesome art, we've got that. If you're a big fan of good stories and original content, it's got that for sure. If you're a fan of just collecting covers by big names or getting them graded, it's got that. If you're looking for up-and-coming indie artists that are phenomenal, it's got that. If you like swag and like special items, I've got that too. I mean, I'm pretty much giving you everything with the exception of boobs, and or outrage.
You've got a murderer's row of artists on these books. It's crazy. Bagley, Bocello, Sienkiewicz. It's crazy. Like you said, I don't know any other campaign that's got this kind of variety of mainstream artists doing covers for it.
I have 2 big names coming after this campaign too. That it would be great if this campaign does really well, so that can happen. And they're great names. One of them is a legend in the industry. I mean, a major legend. So. I just,
if you could get a Gordon Murphy cover, that would be awesome. I think he would do a killer cover.
Saying goodnight. I love you. Sleep well, sweet dreams. God bless. Noses. Get some rest, kid. I love you.
And I think this book is building up. It's just the more it's going, it's just getting better and better and better. And people are gonna come back and wish they'd got this when it first came out.
All right, I'll talk to her after I'm live. Yeah, and that's the thing.
I'm back.
And that's the thing is, I'm starting from ground zero, right? I don't have 100-issue history. I love you, sleep well, sweet dreams. God bless. And I've been told the pacing is really good and the dialogue is real. Good night, Bear. And, starting from ground zero, the first arc is kind of establishing characters, establishing the world, getting things involved. So we're really going to start getting into the meat and potatoes of who's who and what's what and getting the plot lines going. And I just wrote issue 30 and not too long ago. And if you see where this thing is going, and if you could just go in my head and see the stories I have coming, I mean, I know every creator thinks their stuff is great and it's the best and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying that. It's for you to determine. But I'm excited and proud of the stories that I've been writing and where this goes. I don't think anybody is going to really understand where this is going. They don't realize it. This isn't just some vigilante tale. It isn't just Batman in the streets fighting a bunch of nut jobs and putting them back in Arkham. It's not that. And I'm not downplaying Batman. I mean, please, I wish I could have that kind of iconic status. I just mean I'm doing something different here. I'm building something new. And I started from ground zero. So if you like the first 5 issues, you're going to love what's coming as we just continue to build. I mean, I become a better writer with every story too. And the characters get fleshed out more and more things happen. And I create new characters. And the book is a nonstop onslaught of the senses. You know?
I mean, if I can add in there, Phil, like what people have to understand, this is issue 6. And so far, you've given people a lot of stuff, a lot of villains, a lot of character, a lot of story art in just 6 issues, and that's like what, maybe like the first year. What you said was like this year 2 for Tragedy, or the first year?
It's my 3rd year.
Your 3rd year, so I mean, and most characters, it takes about 5 to 10 years for them to really be established of who they are, and so you're doing really good, man. And like I think people, this is a good starting point for anybody to come on and not, because again, like Batman, Spider-Man, we've seen a million of those renditions, and there's so many different like versions of those characters you got to try to catch up on. Where Strategy's brand new, one story, and you can hop on fresh.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing too, is I'm not just giving you lip service. I'm serious. I take pride in writing things in a fresh new way, doing things differently. Like we discussed it earlier, right? Who has ever done that in a book where the star of the book is eviscerated at the end of the freaking first story and is nowhere to be seen in the second story to the last page? I mean, who's done that? But it's good because it fleshed out some other characters. It got you to know Joe and Tony. A lot of people love Joe and Tony. I have people that love Joe and Tony. I love people that love The Breath of the Dragon, and then I love people that love Tragedy. By the way, real quick, I just saw Eric Rivera's comment, Grandma from Bone. Yes, great character. Another great character, Eric. Good job. Nice. Bone by Jeff Smith is an awesome fantasy tale.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Yeah, I just recently did his Kickstarter with the Thorn stuff. But anyway, I digress. So, I mean, I don't know if Kickstarter is where readers go anymore. I mean, if they ever did, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not reaching the right demographic. I'm not reaching my demographic. But if you are looking for fresh storytelling, new ideas, new thoughts, characters you can relate to. I mean, her character design alone, forgive me, I know I designed her, so I'm biased, but I think her character design is awesome, and she doesn't look like anybody else. I mean, I had one person say female Vega. The only thing she has in common is a ponytail and a mask, which the mask looks totally different. So I don't really get the Vega comparison. It's kind of like saying anybody with a gun and short black hair is the Punisher, but it doesn't make sense to me. But I don't think she looks like anybody else. I think I did a good job on her character design. I think she's a relatable character. She's real. Not real where you're not escaping when you read these stories. Real and where you can relate to her. Like, shit, man, that's what I've been thinking and feeling. Or wow, she's going through the same stuff as me. It's amazing that I'm not the only one who feels that way. Like she's guarded and you're gonna get to see more of what her pain is and why. We're only on issue 6. You're going to start to understand her more, and you're going to root for her. And when she doesn't win and she gets the wind knocked out of her, but she won't quit. I mean, that's all of us. Getting up every day to jobs we hate or relationship that we're not happy in or whatever it is. And just facing it the day no matter what, even when we like to just tuck and crawl, right? We just like to get into the fetal position under the covers, and that alarm goes off and say, I'm not facing the day. But we do anyway. And that's where her strength is. She's given her prep time. She's not going to beat everybody. Because some people you just can't beat. You're just not going to beat.
I think you made a good point by saying she represents a real character in her flaws, in her shortcomings, and her willingness to continue on. And to say, like, the story hit the ground running. So it wasn't 5 issues of buildup. It wasn't, this backstory and everything else. We're jumping in the middle of the season of this show, and we're catching. If you don't get on now, you're missing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it was hot out the gate with this story, which I think was one of the appeals to it compared to other stuff that's out there. It is a unique story. If you like the Daredevil, if you like the assassins and the mafia stuff and the action, this is a perfect popcorn comic to get into. That's a good terminology to use.
And the other thing is, I didn't even realize it, because when I write, I don't realize what I'm being inspired by, to be honest with you. And someone had said to me, Mato Zapata actually said, he goes, dude, if I were to use movies to reference like where the feel of this is, he said, I would say Boondock Saints, Kill Bill, John Wick meets Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, I can see that. Right. The Kill Bill part really makes a lot of sense.
I mean, and the Big Trouble in Little China, because there's monsters and there's mysteries. And that's the thing is, you don't really get deep into that in the first 5 issues. Now, don't get me wrong. We have Breath of the Dragon, who has an ability that nobody's ever used before. And we have Jesse, who you find out has an ability. Jesse can travel through shadows. Now, is that new? No, but it's not used often, but he can travel through shadows. Breath of the Dragon can read your future 3 to 5 seconds if he's in proximity of you, so you can't beat him. He knows what you're going to do before you do it. Nobody's ever used that before.
Did John Carpenter direct this comic?
Yeah. And I'm a big Carpenter fan. The Thing is remake is my favorite horror film of all time, and Halloween is a close second. And I love Big Trouble in Little China. That's one of my favorite fantasy movies and martial arts movies, and it's just fun. It's just fun. It's entertaining, but at the same time, you love Jack Burton. He was funny. He was enjoyable. You like the character. When you look at, Laurie Strode, there was a character there, So maybe subconsciously, I'm taking my love of Carpenter into these books, but it's more than that. Like you said, Boondock Saints, Kill Bill, It's important to me because I look at every story that I enjoy. And what draws me to the story, like there are movies that are just fun action, and that's what they're meant to be, and you love them. But when you look at the ones that are your favorites, Falling Down, because you relate to that guy like you couldn't fucking believe, all right? With Michael Douglas. Scent of a Woman, I love that movie because it's about integrity and loyalty. I love that movie. Now, did Pacino act over the top? Yes, but I love that movie. I can relate to some of those themes. Shawshank Redemption. I mean, this is a guy who got punished for something he wasn't responsible for and paid his dues for 30 fucking years and grinded it out and could have put a bullet in his head, but he fought it out and he came out clean on the other side. How do you not relate to these stories? I mean, that's the point. The stories that really hit with us, that stay with us, that we want to own in our collection, that we want to go back and revisit, are the ones that hit us on a human level.
Oh yeah, I was just talking to somebody about that. Most I think it's probably a lot of movies now why they're failing. If you go back and just look at films and just general history, the movies that have done the best and the movies that you remember the most have always been the smaller films. I mean, Star Wars, you could say that, but that was more of an event thing. But most movies we talk about to this day have been small films, whether it be horror movies, action, whatever, And there's a reason, like you said, it's because, it's the stories and stuff in them, not all, the visual shit. That comes and goes.
Well, look at Godzilla -1. Godzilla -1 to me is a perfect example of what we're talking about because we're in an age right now where writing is poor, storytelling is poor, character development is poor. They don't know how to write characters we can relate to. They make strong women, but they make them bitchy and cranky and act like crappy men, or infallible. That's not relatable. They make men. Now you may say, well, what was Stallone in them in the 80s? But that was the point of those movies. It was supposed to be kind of mocking and cheesy that they are unbeatable, right? They were supposed to be bigger than life superheroes. That's what it was supposed to be.
Those movies they reflected with people in a certain way. Like the macho movies of the 80s, I think in a way were good for men because it made them feel like something to strive for. So you could be more macho. Being macho was a good thing.
But that was,
where, like you said, like now the stuff today is like short attention span theater. It's very lukewarm, diluted, absolute trite, and it's showing. So like your book, Godzilla, and what you were saying, Christopher, about these shorter, smaller films, is they have heart, and that shows in the work because they appreciate what they're doing and they want to make a good product.
I mean, look at Godzilla -1. It didn't have the best special effects. They weren't that great. There was some choppy special effects, but you cared about the characters. You were invested in them. I mean, if I don't care what happens to you, then why do I care what the stakes are? There are no stakes if I don't worry or care that this person's going to get killed. Who cares?
Like the problem. I mean, the problem with movies, especially Hollywood now, again, the reason a lot of shit's failing because, I'm going to say it, everything's too political now. Everybody's got an agenda. They got to get away from that shit. I mean, they just do. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit don't work. People don't want to see that. The people they're trying to target don't want to see that. So it's like, make a movie, dude. Like, just make a
But at the same time, hey, Steph Wilson, we showed your cover off, you and Carrie Ann. What's going on? At the same time, it's funny because we hear a lot of people clamoring how great Godzilla -1 was and how they don't want what's written out there now. But when Boromir dies, I get upset. Exactly. That's a perfect example.
Don't ruin this movie. I've not seen it yet.
But that's not Godzilla. He's talking about Lord of the Rings. Okay. Listen.
Okay.
Steph Wilson just hit the nail on the freaking head. Boromir is my favorite character out of Lord of the Rings. Now the book is different than the movie. In the movie, it was very emotional, but in the book, he had like 30 arrows in him, and he had like 30 dead orcs around him. He just was a badass. This was a man that redeemed himself from being poisoned by the influence of the ring, right? He tried to take it from Frodo, and then he wound up saving the hobbits, and his life was taken for it. It was the movie did make it very emotional. You were invested in it. You were invested in him. The stakes were high because you didn't want to see these people fail. And when they did fail, it reminded you that anybody in the story could fail. Anybody in the story could die. That's a great example, Steph. Perfect example.
And another problem, like I'll use the Marvel for example, the Marvel movies. Now let's go back. When you had like the first few of them, right? You had the Iron Man 1 and Thor and Captain America, right? They had problems. There was risks. Like Iron Man, he had a moral, right? He was a guy, he was an arms dealer, and like the whole thing about proving he has a heart and all that shit. He did that. He redeemed himself. He made the technology to fight. He realized what he did wrong, right? Thor was an arrogant prick, and his dad took all his power from him. He had to, learn from his mistakes. So, he sacrificed himself, and that's made him worthy. Captain America,
learn humility.
Yeah, Captain America was a weakling, but he had heart. You know what I'm saying? And he was very selfless. Everything he did was selfless. Now, when he jumped on that bomb that was fake, when he crashed the ship into the ocean, into the water, you know what I'm saying? That was something. Then we get to fucking Captain Marvel. What the hell did she learn? I mean, she was powerful. She was badass in the beginning. Like, it's bullshit. Like, that
right. I don't mind that she's a female at all. She didn't learn anything. She didn't grow.
The female had nothing to do. It's just the fact that, like, she was just... What did she have to lose in that movie? Just answer me that. At what point was she?
The only thing she was going to lose in that movie was box office revenue.
Yeah, I mean,
fan base.
Well, it was really a slap in the face to go because Infinity War was pretty good, right? The way it ended.
Yeah.
And it ended with her like Captain Marvel. Who this motherfucker ain't been in none of the movies.
That was the worst part, dude. I rolled my eyes so hard you could have heard it in the theater.
Yeah.
When they broke out. The girl power, gather together. What? No, that was the cheesiest shit in that movie.
It was fucked up. And then with added insult to injury when we saw at the end of Captain Marvel how like you find out that's why they called them the Avengers. Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Oh, I know, right?
You know, and you know, this is what I always say too. You know, we're all married. We've all dated. Have you ever met a woman who realized how strong, capable, and beautiful she was? Probably not. It kind of makes our life a little harder because they don't get it. But it is what it is, right? Women go through so much. They go through so much crap. I mean, not just their physical things that we don't go through, not just societal things, but you know, emotionally, they're always worried and thinking about so many things that we don't think about. We got like 4 things to meet, right? I'm horny. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I'm tired, right? I mean, it's usually, that's how basic we can be. Women are much more complex than that. And they exhaust themselves and they stress themselves and they doubt themselves and they worry and they stress. So you're taking women who go through all these things and still get up every day, and their mothers and their career women and their sisters and their aunts and their brothers and their wives and all these things. And they deal with this shit on a daily basis, and they still go out there and they still do what they got to do. And you dummy it down to girl boss. To me, that's fucking insulting.
Yeah, I mean,
it's insulting to act like a woman has no issues to have to overcome.
Well, I mean, like we said earlier, we just named 3, like Laurie Strode, Ellen Ripley. Like, it had nothing to do with them being females. Nothing to do with that at all. They were just good written characters. You know what I'm saying? That's what you liked about them. And that's what they need to get back to doing that again. You know? And like,
because they weren't girl bosses. Yeah. They were strong heroes. But a girl boss is infallible and never afraid and has it all figured out, right?
Dude,
a strong woman has a journey.
Right, like the Rey thing for Star Wars, that was bullshit. Like, she was doing shit in the first movie, this Luke Skywalker, it took him 3 movies to figure out.
She beat Luke in the second movie. She beat him. What I'm saying?
She was doing shit Darth Vader couldn't do, man. Like, what the hell is this? Like,
and it shows because these movies make no money. These movies get lambasted, they get made fun of, and yet they continue to do it because they've got this formula for how they want to make this crap, and that's why the comic books are failing, and that's why the movies are failing, and the people are going back to old media,
right? Yeah,
because they know people know what's good and what's not good. You can't pull the wool of our eyes with this shit and keep giving it to us, thinking we're going to finally accept it. It's not going to happen.
Dude, they've destroyed these franchises. I mean, Star Wars probably like is done. I don't know how at this point. I don't know how you can fix it. Like
you'd have to revamp it. You'd have to go back and get rid of everything, gut it out completely, and then bring back the original people or someone of that flavor who like for Spider-Man. What was it? The third one was
No
it
Way Home?
Something like that, where all 3 of them came in together.
Right.
That's a fan service movie. That movie was one of the best movies out that Marvel ever made.
I have said this from the start. This is how you fix Star Wars, in my opinion. You ready? You retcon everything except for Rogue One that Disney has done. All right, you just get rid of it. It doesn't exist. Do an animated series with great animation of Luke and Leia and Han and them and their adventures after Return of the Jedi. That's the first thing. You make that the series, okay? Because then we get those characters we love again, because Harrison Ford isn't going to do it, and Princess Leia is dead. So do an animated, get Mark Hamill to voice his, get similar voices for the others, and we can follow their adventures, which is what we really wanted all this time, okay? And do that as an animated show. Then give fans a proper what do you call it? Knights of the Republic or the Old Republic continuity. Okay? And the reason why I say that is important is this, because a lot of people, Star Wars expanded through that, and it gave them a history, new Sith, new characters to like. I think if you do those 2 things, get rid of all this other shit you're flooding everybody with right now, I think you can repair Star Wars and get fans on again, but you have to do them right. You have to write them by people who know Star Wars, not an actor that says Anakin blew up the Death Star. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. And again, I only say animated because they can't, unless they could use the digital technology and have the permission of Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher's family, her estate, to use that to do live action movies, to do an actual good solid sequel 7, 8, and 9 with the core characters.
See, that's
maybe do that. But the animated series, you can stretch out as many stories as you want. You can even go into Shadow of the Empire if you want.
Right.
Like, which was between Empire and Return of the Jedi. But so I'm sorry, Star Wars, they want nostalgia. They want the original team. They want to see Luke finally as a powerful master. And they want to see the adventures continue of the characters that they grew to love, because those characters had heart and they had family. Period. They want to see that. And then there are the people that love the lore of the Old Republic. Give them those two things, and you can repair Star Wars. But they won't do it.
But see, I thought the Mandalorian was going to retcon it, because there was talk about it one time. Cause they kind of was there. They had a chance to just go with Mandalorian, but they fucked that up because apparently, no, it's not. It's still part of that bull. I don't know, man. Like they just...
No, because Kathy Kennedy had to step in and ruin everything. I mean, I saw reports that Jon Favreau, he's under contract, and he was just like, well, they keep wanting to do all this bullshit. Whatever. This is what you want. Fine. Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
Bo-Katan. You could have made your own Bo-Katan show if you wanted to. Why'd you have to do this?
Yeah.
Well, the biggest mistake they did is put. Well, the worst thing they did was bring Grogu back to the Mandalorian after Luke took him. That was a mistake, because you did what you could with that arc. You should have just moved on, and you should have the Mandalorian go on to something else. And Grogu, you could have done a series continuing him with Luke. Why not?
But this is my fan. Okay, so where the hell was he at during like the last 3 movies? Grogu, I mean, he just disappeared. I mean,
I know he's 50 years old, right? Where'd he come from?
I mean, a lot of questions. Like, I don't know, man. Like that last Star Wars movie episode, was it? Fuck, 9. What was? Yeah, that was some trash. That was straight up horse shit.
Rise of Skywalker? Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, man. I was like, Palpatine's alive. What?
Even my daughter was 8 at the time. She goes, Dad, that's terrible.
Like, they didn't. I mean, it's like, what is this, man? Like, this is. I've seen fan movies better than this. Like,
do you know what it did, though? The worst thing that raising Palpatine did was you destroyed the fact that Anakin was truly the chosen one.
Yeah.
Because he really did end the Empire. He had to join them at first, and he fucked things up. But he is the one who killed the Empire and defeated the Empire. Killed the Emperor. He is the chosen one. And he ruined that.
Yeah, because doing that, now it's like, okay, Palpatine is like the man. It was his story. All 9 films was him. Like,
and not just that, but again, if he didn't die, Anakin didn't kill him, Anakin didn't restore order, Anakin is not the chosen one. It destroys the whole context of all of that. Rey is the chosen one. And on top of that, she steals the Falcon, she steals BB-8, she steals the Jedi text, she steals their lightsabers, she steals Luke's home. I mean, she steals his name. The only thing she didn't steal was the medal that Chewie finally got. I mean, Jesus Christ, she's a klepto Jedi.
You do know in the Federation that a woman does get 70% of the rebellion. So she is going to get the car. She is going to get the sabers. She's going to get the dog.
It was unbelievable. I said, I couldn't believe I was watching. Like, this is what we're doing now, huh?
Well, Timothy Zahn, who wrote the what do you call it? Oh my God!
The novelization.
What's his name? Thrawn, the Thrawn trilogy. Have you ever read that?
Nah,
It's brilliant. You need to, because he understood the characters, and you feel like you're watching the true episodes 7, 8, 9. Okay, so just to be clear, Timothy Zahn is a big Star Wars fan. That trilogy is fantastic, and I spoke to him in person at a show, and he said to me after episode 7, he goes, "I knew we were in trouble when we didn't have one scene of the 3 of them together."
Yeah, what was that about? I'm like, how are you gonna kill them? Like, what? Like, nothing made sense in that movie, dude. But
I'll tell you why. Because they didn't want to pay royalties to Lucas, so they tried to get rid of all the characters that he created. That's why. And they wanted to start new with their stuff, so they didn't have to pay out royalties.
No, what's crazy
because like the billions that they're gonna make off it wouldn't have been enough.
I'm really surprised at Kathleen Kennedy because Kathleen Kennedy has ties to everything, dude. Like she was part of like the Razor
Indiana
Jones, Back to the Future. Like,
I was told she didn't have a lot of creative control or input, though. Yeah, I heard she was not.
Unfortunately, until she just retires, she's gone, no longer with us. She's gonna just destroy. I mean, Star Wars is done. I mean, it's until she leaves.
Well, she just said they're talking about. She said Star Wars. She's hating on men. It's male dominated. Star Wars is a female world.
Like what is? Like, what are you talking about? This is fucking space opera. Like what? Why is it gotta be about that? Like.
And the point is, it was never about that because Leia was just as strong and as formidable as anybody else throughout the entire series. By the way,
she was not.
We should have brought up Princess Leia when we talked about movies, strong women in movies. Princess Leia's got to be one of the number ones too.
She survived intergalactic trafficking as a sex slave. Okay, and she killed it. I mean, if that ain't girl boss, I don't know what is. That is like. People glaze that over. That was a serious thing. You know, she spent a lot of time in Jabba the Hutt's sex house, and she don't get credit for that. I mean, look at that fat slob. Was that Harvey Weinstein they were trying to portray as Jabba the Hutt? Is that what that was? It was a whole.
He was laying on the casting couch. He was laying on the casting couch.
That's what I'm saying. I think that was that was like a little slide to the whole thing going on in Hollywood. I just blew the whole lid off that mug.
I gotta get ready. I gotta get ready to leave here shortly, but I did want to say one more thing about Star Wars. Then I'll talk about tragedy real quick. I think the problem we've had with Star Wars is since the original trilogy, just the characters aren't memorable. Like you like Luke and Leia, and like they were fun to be around. Like we don't have like they haven't made anybody like that. Everybody now is just so one dimensional. It's boring. You know, like
they had heart.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like I mean. Who didn't like Han Solo? He was like just the cool guy. You know, there's almost like being in high school, right? Han Solo was like, he's the bad boy. Luke Skywalker was like, the Boy Scout. Princess Leia was like, I don't know, the popular girl and stuff. It was just fun.
She was the girl next door.
Yeah, so R2D2, C3 they were like the nerdy guys.
They were. They were straight tropes of standard run-of-the-mill character that's in almost every good movie with the hero's journey. You've got your ragtag group of guys, and you've got your mentor with Yoda and your struggles and everything else. And I mean, it works for a reason. Yeah. It always has and it always will, but they can't do it now for some reason.
And let's be real, there's never ever been a cooler villain in Star Wars since Darth Vader. He's been the best. You can't replicate him at all.
Yeah.
Darth Maul was kind of cool, but you didn't see enough of him, so.
Yeah, Darth Vader is probably one of the baddest villains, like just presence-wise.
Oh yeah,
he did such a spectacular job.
He's iconic, dude. Everybody knows who fucking Darth Vader is. I mean, iconic. But man, guys, it was fun talking to y'all. Like Tragedy's off to a good start. Phil,
Agreed.
It's gonna do good. All I can say is like, who if you haven't backed this campaign or thinking about it, you need to get on it. Tragedy is definitely. If we're going to go into, like, the next 20 years of new characters, because, like, Spider-Man, Batman, we've seen them a million times. Tragedy's definitely a good character to start off, like, the next generation.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. But, all right, guys, I got to go.
Take it easy, bud.
Chris, have a good night. Say hi to everybody.
All right, later, guys.
See you, buddy.
Later. I'm going to do one more quick run over the trailer and the campaign, and we're going to call it a night. Slow start. Kickstarter is just not what it was. It's slow start, but it is what it is. All right, so we're going to play the trailer one more time, show off the covers, and we'll call it a night. Every fucking time.
You want me to try to play it from my side? Maybe my stream will be a little bit better.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, buddy.
Nothing's going right. I don't understand this. I'm hardwired in. It's not even Wi-Fi. What the hell? Whatever. I give up. For the 17 backers so far, thank you so much for coming out and helping us start out. We really appreciate you. We're almost funded. I really hope more people come in. This is a campaign that's done $10,000 to $13,000 because it's quality. It's got great creative teams, great covers, great people attached to it. It's a great story. We got a Mark Bagley cover. Mark Bagley of Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Venom, all that stuff. We've got this cover, of course, by the great Kevin Steward, who is with us. Fantastic composition. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
David River. Ricardo Silva. Erwin J. Arosa. Francesco Tomaselli. Steph Wilson with Kerry Ann. And Adriano Oliveira. And then we got Dustin Tyree. So we got some cool covers, guys. We got all types of covers. We got action and violence. We've got blood and gore. And we've got, pretty feminine covers. We got everything. What are you waiting for? I know what to tell you. I'm giving you everything. Everything.
It's a tragedy that you haven't already got on the campaign. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. I really don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do.
We'll keep pumping. This is a good story. It's putting itself out there and standing on its own 2 feet. It's taking a little bit, but it's standing on its own 2 feet.
People just got to give it a shot. I know you won't be disappointed. You just got to give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I just want to remind you of the other campaigns that haven't been fulfilled yet because I've been doing one every month. Talk to anybody who's backed. You will absolutely get your books no matter what. And very soon, all 3 campaigns. It's the printer that's been holding things up. We wait for the money to come in from Kickstarter. They've been slow, 2 to 3 weeks. And then the printers have been slow lately. So I apologize. But Night is it's still within 2 months. So, yes, the trade paperback is there, Eric, for purchase. And you can pick either the Bill Sienkiewicz, Chris Bachalo, or David Mack covers. And it's the first volume, issues 1 through 5. Absolutely. But I just want you to know, if you're reluctant to back because you're worried or concerned because of the other campaigns, I promise you they're going to be fulfilled very soon. We're waiting on a few books left from 2 different printers, and then I'm going to fulfill all 3 campaigns together at the same time. And when I say I fulfill, I spend all day. I fulfill in 1 day. They're all shipped out, and you get everything. You can ask anybody that's backed my campaigns. We've had almost up to 300 backers, and everyone's been happy. So I promise you, you can pledge with confidence. You can pledge knowing that you're going to get everything, and it's going to be like Christmas when all this stuff comes in.
15 successful Kickstarters is proof in the pudding that he does what he says he does.
Yeah, and everybody tells you I fulfill quickly, on time. I package it right. I don't half-ass it. Unfortunately, I just had somebody recently send me, they don't even bag and board, or they recycle Gemini, or they don't protect the book. They just put it in an envelope, and that frustrates me. You spend your hard-earned money on my books. I'm going to protect them. They're going to come to you arriving safe, because I also know some of you like to grade them. You get a Mark Bagley book, you want to grade it. You want that 9.9. You don't want me screwing that up for you. So we take care of things. We understand what it is to be a collector and a reader. We understand. I understand, and I'm trying to give you what I would want. What a lot of people have said they want: quality storytelling, characters you can relate to, 9 pages of action. My books are not that panel of the misunderstanding like Three's Company, and they fight and then they team up against the bad guy. I don't do that crap. There's 9 pages of fights. It's intense. but there's also some great exposition with characters you can relate to. The art is outstanding. We have a great creative team. Look at the cover that Kevin did just to speak volumes. I don't just get huge Main Street names. I get the best indie people in the industry to work on the books. But don't take my word for it. Go pledge and find out, and you tell me. If Peter David, Howard Mackey, and Chuck Dixon can say that Tragedy issue 1 was well written, what are you waiting for? All right. Kevin, tell us where we can find you. Are you available for anything? I know you're working on Glenn's book. Well, thank you for that. You're the only artist that's come through for us on this, and the book is looking beautiful. He sent me the page the other day. But you're doing a phenomenal job on Alma the King. So tell us what you're doing, what you're going to be doing. Oh, and you know what? I want to talk about Apollo. So give us your spiel, and then we'll talk about Apollo.
Okay. Apollo, my spiel or my spiel on Apollo? Which one?
We'll end with your spiel on Apollo because I'll elaborate and start everything else first. Thank you, Cyrus.
So you can find me at the Art of Kevin on Facebook or art_of Kevin on Instagram. That's the two places that I'm most active at. I'll be doing a couple conventions. One in July, the Frankfurt Comic-Con in Frankfurt, Kentucky on July the 13th. And I'll be doing CreepyCon again in Knoxville, Tennessee, August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Those are really big cons. They're really fun to go to and check out.
Do you have any Diary of Dread left?
I do have a few. I sold a couple on this last convention I did last month.
Cool.
Yeah, I sold a couple of those books, and I've got like one Diary of Dread left that I've got, besides the one I'm keeping for myself.
Well, you're gonna need them for that CreepyCon, aren't you?
Yeah, that's yeah. I've got that, and I've got the other ones at the other tragedy books you sent me. I didn't think about getting restock on that just yet. I haven't even thought about it, to be honest with you. I need to.
For CreepyCon, hell yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
So that's pretty much it so far. I'm not doing a whole lot of cons. I'm trying to focus on getting Glenn's book finished and work on my book after that. So Apollo is it's that blend of, I love the superheroes that have tragedy in them. I love superheroes that have a lot of character development, and I feel like this story is one of those. Superheroes are one of my favorite genres to play in, and Apollo is a character that I created several years ago. Not getting into too much of the story, but it's not your run-of-the-mill Superman type story. It's got a lot going on it, a lot of ups and downs and twists that you're not expecting to come through in a book like this. So I'm excited to get that out through Philbo. Hopefully, this year.
Now, I want to say two things. Apollo has an Easter egg cameo in the original Tragedy #1 issue, right? And I think he's in the remaster too. He was supposed to be. Anyway, I love Superman, and I don't mind Superman archetypes, but you have to write it well, or it has to be something different or fresh, right? So, talking to Kevin, he wanted to pitch the script. He wanted to talk about me publishing it on crowdfunding with him. I read the script, and I was instantly impressed. I mean, the writing is really solid, but the story is different. It's like Planet of the Apes and sci-fi and Starship Troopers and Superman and political stuff, but not like preachy political stuff that's analogous to today. It's dealing with kind of like how Star Wars did. There's political element, and it was intriguing, and it goes in many places. And like you said, there's a twist that you don't see coming, and it is just a well-crafted story led by a Superman. And not even led, there's other things going on. He's not even the focal point you think he is, but the Superman archetype, but it is nothing like a Superman book at all. It is original, it is fresh, and I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing to publishing it, and that's why I put my name on it, because it is quality, and it's going to be something you're going to enjoy. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I love the story that I've got, and it's the way I got this planned out to where he's going to go. It's not going to be a super universe type of story. I'm not talking like the DC whatever. I've got like 500 characters, right? It's pretty focused on just a group of characters and what I want them to do. So it's kind of like that heroes type archetype journey type story in a way. It's kind of how I got it set out. But it's like I said, it's got a twist, and it's gonna change things up. You're not gonna expect it. It's coming at you.
And characters that you care about. I mean, it's good. I really was impressed because I didn't think Kevin had it in him. No, I'm just kidding. Just busting chops. It's well written, and the art that Kevin's doing on it is obviously top notch. You see what he can do. You saw my cover and his prior covers. The guy is solid, and he can do sequential storytelling. So look for Alma the King and look for Apollo. Both are going to be coming on crowdfunding through Filbo Publishing. Kevin's working his butt off on both books while he works his day job, and he's a father of 2 and a husband and a homeowner, yada, yada, yada. So we're excited and looking forward to the future working together, and you're going to really like Apollo.
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
And anybody who has tragedy number one, why don't you let us know if you see where Apollo is? Find him in that first book. Cool. Kevin, man, I do appreciate you sincerely. I mean, you have no ego. You are always on time when I need something. You're always there for me when I need something. You do it professional and top notch, whether it's the Diary of Dread covers, the tragedy covers you've drawn, formatting books like Filbo Publishing presents. You're a friend, you're a colleague in the industry, and I cannot say enough good things about you, and I appreciate you, and you're really easy to work with. And as much as I bust your balls, I'm going to leave it at that. You're a good dude. You're a good human being. You're a talented creator, artist, logo designer, digital, stuff. So I don't know what the term is, but anyway, and everybody should have the great privilege of working with Kevin at some point. Having said that, thanks for coming out, man. Thanks for being part of Tragedy every time, giving me a fantastic cover, and you up it each time. I mean, just when I thought you upped it last time with the kind of Frank Miller-esque kind of thing, you do this, and it's just phenomenal. So thanks.
Glad to be a part of the team. Thank you.
All right, guys, go follow Kevin. He's terrible at social media, so he needs you to go follow him and give him a reason to post. And check out his project.
I would play hard to get, so you got to come to me.
But check out his work. It's great stuff. And he's got an art book that you should check out with horror and also superhero and fan work, and it's just really great stuff. And you're not going to be disappointed. So go check out his art book, but you got to go contact Kevin for it. All right.
Yep.
Kevin, you want to help me on this one, or am I taking this on my own?
You always ask me. I always forget. Get started, and I think I know how to end it.
All right, just think Princess Bride. Remember?
Yeah, have fun.
All right, yeah. So be legendary
and have fun storming the castle.